Once upon a time, a 10-year-old boy named Alex lived with his family in an old and large apartment building. The building was eerily quiet, most of the time. Not a single footstep echoed in the hallways. At night, it became even creepier. The apartment right next to Alex's was supposed to be empty, yet strange noises came from it every night. One night, as Alex was sleeping in his bed, he woke up to a faint noise. It was coming from the neighboring apartment. Heart pounding, he pressed his ear to the wall. He could hear scratching sounds and something being dragged across the floor. Terrified, yet curious, Alex grabbed his flashlight and tiptoed out of his room. Making sure his parents were still asleep, he approached the door of the empty apartment. The door was slightly ajar. A dim light seeped out from inside. Alex gently pushed the door open and peeked in. The apartment, which should have been empty, had walls covered in red writing. The words repeated the same phrase over and over, "Find me." Alex's hands shook, but his curiosity drove him to take a step inside. Just then, the door creaked and slammed shut behind him. The light inside began to flicker, and suddenly, a large black hole appeared in the middle of the floor. Before Alex could react, the hole pulled him in. He found himself in a cold, dark corridor. Around him were broken wheelchairs and rusted surgical tools. He realized he was in a creepy, abandoned hospital. A soft whisper broke the silence. "Find me." The whisper seemed to come from a distant hallway. Almost as if hypnotized, Alex began walking toward it. At the end of the corridor, he saw a room with the word "operating room" written above the door. Gathering his courage, he pushed the door open. Inside, he found an old stretcher, blood-splattered walls, and an open book lying on the floor. When Alex touched the book, screams echoed through the room. He felt a presence behind him. Turning around, he saw a figure. It looked like a doctor wearing a white coat, but it had no face. Empty eye sockets stared at him as the figure slowly walked forward, holding a gleaming metal tool. Alex screamed and tried to run, but the hallway seemed endless. Every corner he turned brought him back to the same place. Finally, he collapsed on the floor, shutting his eyes tightly. Suddenly, everything went silent. When Alex opened his eyes, he was back in his bed. It was as if nothing had happened. But when he looked down, he saw a mark on his chest. Written in blood-red letters were the words, "You're next." That night, Alex couldn't sleep again. The strange noises from the empty apartment never stopped.